Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday morning trading session. Okay, the market's just opened up. This, of course, again, is the NASDAQ, kind of my favorite market. But don't be shy about asking for another market if you would like me to focus on something else or perhaps even just show you another market. Relatively soft open in the NASDAQ this morning. Actually, let's take a look here at the Raptor, and you can see the Geiger counter before the market opened. A little bit of a blip there in the buying. Looks like it outweighed the sellers a little bit. That probably shot the market up to here. And that's more or less where trading left off yesterday. Kind of a very slow, painful, sideways trading range yesterday. Here, I'll show you. So market left off here around 43. Oops, sorry, that's the Asian session. Market closed here around 43.68.70, and the overnight waffling a little bit higher, a little bit lower, and here we are again in that whole 43.68, 43.70 neighborhood. We'll just give them a few minutes here to get their bearings. It is a holiday weekend this weekend for those of you outside of North America. Oh, and that reminds me, there will be no trading room tomorrow. No trading room on Friday. I'm actually going to be out of town, and I'm not going to have internet access tomorrow morning. The trading room will resume on Tuesday, July the 5th. All right, well, it looks like the seller's trying to push the market down here a little bit. The eagle waffling back and forth. This may turn out to be a test of the extreme to the downside. This may turn out to be a test of the extreme to the upside. So at the moment, a pretty balanced market. You could short this green bar sell signal if you were just looking, to test the waters, so to speak. I was going to suggest, and the market's cooperating, you may want to do it on a second push entry. Now, the second push simply means that we allow the signal to engage as it did, then we let the market retreat from the signal, and this shows us the current limit of the market. So right now, the current limit of the market, as far as the sellers are concerned, is 43.60. You should probably cover above the high. And this is really, like I say, kind of like dipping your toe in the water to see which way the market may be inclined to go today. We've got trade forecasters saying that we're in full-on scalp mode here for about another 17 minutes, 15, 17 minutes. That should take us through the better part of opening range. So we may not get a decent signal here. Okay, they're retreating from that, so I'm going to close that out. And the other tools are showing you the same thing. See here on the Hawk, we're starting to print a lot of yellow bars. We had some sell signals work out pre-market, a buy signal work out pre-market. So again, just very balanced here on the Falcon. Our trend line looks like a great big roller coaster ride, and that's pretty much what it's been. Okay, we're getting a little bit of a move to the upside. Here the Raptor shows this fairly clearly. We just broke through the high, this little overnight high or pre-market high. Now there's a reaction to that, so gosh, I'm starting to think it's going to be another sideways trading range today. And now we're back into yellow bars. Crude oil also dead sideways. Gold is kind of interesting here. We're getting a macro pullback signal on gold. This shows some promise. Can I cover it down there? Oh, I can. Now, the nice thing about this macro pullback in gold is that before this market reverses, we should expect a retest of the high. Oh, now that's into yellow bars, so we can kill that order. Maybe a lot of traders are taking a really early holiday break. We might be sitting on our hands here for a little bit. Oh, here we go. Got a couple signals now. Here's the Falcon, and again, this is early. This is our trend change signal. A couple of ways you can do this. You can look for the second push on the entry. That's what I'm doing. You can also enter below this low. The trend change signal occurs when the trend line changes color. We have this move that pushes the market down, changes the trend line color. Then we see the bullish reaction, and then we see the bears hopefully coming back to take control of the market. Now my signal has gone a little bit stale here, but I'm going to just let it go. And we're sitting right here on the median line as well. You could use the median line also. Let's say you wanted to use your support and resistance lines to set your trade. You could enter below the median line and you could use your primary support line as your profit objective. No, now we're printing green dots, so well, we can cancel that. It's going to be one of those days. All right, first micro macro cross now in the hawk. So the market's going to have us chasing our tails for a little bit here. Now you can take the signal right here on the hash mark. There's nothing wrong with it, but we've got essentially 4 or 5 hits all on the same price level around 43.60 or close to it. I just think I'm going to feel a little bit better about postponing my order below the low. And same thing here with the Raptor. We're getting what's looking like a cloud crossover signal. But because the market is so choppy, there's nothing wrong with delaying your entry a little bit. Let's see if we get a breakout. Okay, not bad. They didn't slip us too badly. Well, no, actually not at all. Do I have an active order there? Yes, I do. You can look at the width of these candles here on the eagle. It shows it very well. All the volume that went through there. Now 43.60 going to be a real stumbling block here for this market. Because I only have the single contract here in the hawk, I will try to run it out. Now let's see, just out of curiosity's sake, if I had taken it on the hash mark, oh, I would have hit the break-even trigger, but not quite the profit target yet. The Falcon also producing another signal right here, so you had an opportunity to get in with the Falcon as well. Yeah, sure, go ahead, drift into yellow bars, see if I care. Okay, here on the hawk now we're getting our green bar sell signal. This is significant because it's going to show us whether or not the sellers are serious about recovering the market. The green bar sell signal did trip. I'm not going to roll my stop just yet. I'd like to see the market come down here a couple of ticks. I want to make sure I'm above that swing high. I am. So ideally we would see it form at least a bar or two lower here. Otherwise, the market's just going to keep going sideways on us. Lots of volume going through these bars. There's some heavy bars here, but very little follow through. Actually, I'll make both my stops the same. All right, so now you see how the market has recommitted here to the downside. I can bring my stops in a little bit. Maybe here, 43.68, where they started the day. Ditto on the Raptor. You can, let's find where our stop strategy is going to put us. There we go. That'll work. I'm doing my best not to crowd the trade here to start, but at the same time, oops, that's not going to work. I thought it would print the same on the hawk, but it doesn't. There. All right, so we can see the market now dealing with these lows, and if the sellers are going to be serious about recovering the market, they do need to push below these lows now. And there's the problem. See, the buyers are buying there. Oh, look at that sell spike that went through. So buyers buying here, sellers kind of honoring the trend line a little bit. It's always difficult trading a sideways market. Good morning, Jim. Let's see, Jim says the advanced decline stands at 1480 on the buy and just over 1200 on the sell. So pretty much even. Slight nod to the buyers, but not enough to get them too excited. Ooh, this is an important bar. I'd say that because you see how it's struggling? It's struggling to go higher. For a moment it looks like it's going to go higher, then it looks like it's going to go lower, then it looks like it's going to go higher. All right, so the seller's winning that bar. And now we're kind of sitting on that little trend line that I drew in earlier. Come on, get back down there below that 43.60 area. If we see a break of there, we should at least find our first profit target, as the market very likely to challenge the overnight lows. It's this first little bit of the trade that's so difficult. Jim just posted the advanced decline. They're dead even. 1342 on the buy, 1342 on the sell. Well, let's see here. Mr. Buckaloo, I'm assuming it's Mr., is asking about the E-mini on the Hawk. Hold on one second here, and I will pull that up. Just gotta let that load. So we've got, he writes, the E-mini Hawk, the 4 bricks stuck on central value support, 8 down arrows. Your thoughts? Okay, well, first off, if you're getting too many arrows printing, like we have our 4 arrow consolidation pattern, of course, but we do not have a 5 arrow consolidation or a 7 arrow consolidation or an 8 arrow. So if the market is continually printing arrow after arrow after arrow without a signal, it's just showing you a dead market, really. And here I'll show the support and resistance suite first. So we see here on the NASDAQ, we're just stuck on the upside of the median line. Here on the E-mini, we're pretty much skewered, currently just below it. This is, of course, on the Falcon, but the values will be the same. So now let's bring over the Hawk and take a look at that pattern that we have. So here's the Hawk. So the question is 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Is this a 4-arrow consolidation pattern? Well, this was a nice 4-arrow consolidation right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and down she went. Remember, your consolidation patterns, your best ones are going to have a, in the downtrend, they're going to have a bear type flavor to them. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 signals, and we're looking to capitalize on that fourth signal. In an uptrend, they're going to have a bull flag type look with 1, 2, 3, 4 signals. This one is a little bit more sideways, and because it's printing so many signals and not really going anywhere, I wouldn't really consider it a consolidation pattern anymore. It is acceptable to have a consolidation pattern that does drift sideways, and you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 signals like that. The consolidation patterns I like least, and they do work out occasionally, but they'll have that downward slope to them. And you'll still print your arrows, but everything is kind of slipping lower. So this would be a very difficult one to take on the hawk, I think. I think you may be better off perhaps trying to capture it on the falcon or even the eagle. Here's the E-mini on the eagle. And we just produced a little bit of a trend change signal here. And it would not be an easy signal to take because the market is so indecisive. However, we did get a little bit of a break of a trend line. So if you wanted to try it, that's certainly one to try. If you are an E-mini trader, it doesn't hurt to follow what the NASDAQ and the Dow are up to also. Just because the E-mini, even though it's the, the big cheese, the big kid on the block, it's not going to move away from what the NASDAQ and the Dow are doing. In fact, some of you will have remember me mentioning this before, but the late Marshall Jones used to have a trading strategy. He actually never even watched the charts. He would just be watching the time and sales. And if he saw a spike in the buying, we'll use buying as an example, a spike in the buying of the Dow and a simultaneous spike in the NASDAQ, he knew he had about 2 or 3 seconds to throw a buy order into the E-mini, that the E-mini would follow suit. Okay, I'm going to force this trade to break even now. Our break-even trigger did get hit here on the Raptor, and we would have hit our profit objective here on the Hawk, but I'm trying to encourage this one a little bit lower. So now, of course, we're producing a first micro-macro cross signal, which should be a high probability signal, and we should see this market taper off a little bit. Okay, so we've hit our profit objective, our first profit objective here in the Raptor. And they're fighting it. Their buyers are trying to force the support here as the market gets toward the top of the hour. At least we've seen what looks a little bit like a commitment on the part of the sellers. Maybe. Oh man, the market's so wishy-washy here. kicks, let's see what's up in the soybean market today. We'll load up soybeans. Soybeans, generally a pretty good market to follow if you're looking for a way to round out your market mix. Nice thing about soybeans is they're very committed. Once they settle on a direction, that's pretty much it. Now, it may take them a little while to settle on a direction. Let's see, here's yesterday's trading. No, they were kind of bullish out of the open, waffling a little bit in the overnight, so that would have made it a little bit difficult, but we did get a trend change signal. This is on the Falcon, of course. Did get a trend change signal about 20 minutes into the session, and they kind of followed through on that for the morning session anyway. Then we got a trend change signal in the afternoon, and they pretty much followed that into the close. So here we are this morning, the overnight, pretty committed to the downside. Today, very, very quiet so far. The market opened, oh no, sorry, my mistake. The market opened here, printed a late filter entry signal, and tailed off rather quickly. So it's only been the last 10 minutes or so that trading has been rather subdued. And in fact, I was just about to throw a Geiger counter on there to make sure I still had a data flow. But that's soybeans. They can also be a very fast-moving market at times. Not usually as docile as we're seeing them today. All right, so we're getting some traction now. I'm going to do my really level best to not stop myself out prematurely here, but we are getting a little bit of profit on the table. All right, I'll go with parabolics on my hawk. Oops, wrong button. There we go. We'll see now. We're kind of at the bottom end of yesterday's, near where the market bottomed out yesterday. Well, not bottomed out so much, but if I shoot a line here across there and we go back into yesterday, so you can see the afternoon session kind of hovering around this price going into the close. Primary support not till 43.39.5. Okay, so a little bit of a hiccup here on the hawk, stopped us out. Not bad, doubled our normal profit objective. Tony's asking, Hey Eric, now that you've been on using Windows 10 for about 2 months, how do you like it? Are you still mad at it? I'm still on Windows 7 and considering making the change. Windows 10 is on my laptop, which I use my desktop computer more because it's a little bit more powerful. No, I'm not as mad at it as I was. I'm starting to get used to it, and I found where I could disable some of the features that were driving me crazy. If you do go to Windows 10, it's probably helpful to watch some of those online tutorials. We're getting a macro pullback here, by the way. My stop is a little bit too tight here. Let me adjust that. I think Windows 7 is still a better platform, a better interface. But then again, I'm not 20 years old anymore, so I don't use the tiles. Like Windows 8 was all tiles and stuff. Here on our hawk trade, I'm going to disable the profit objective again, which is just down here past the break even, just in case this market gains a little traction to the downside. But then I'm not a big social media kind of guy either. I don't Facebook, I don't Twitter, I don't Instagram. Yeah, Jim says they've got an app that makes it look like Windows 7, and it's only like $5 for that little crossover software. Phil says, don't change to 10. No, I'm putting it off as long as I can. The other thing I don't like about Windows 10 is you don't get a recovery disk anymore. Well, not that anybody's computer has a disk drive to it anymore. Everything is on a flash drive and a USB. And not that, I think once in my computer life have I had to use a recovery disk or twice, but still it's nice knowing it's there. Okay, so the big deal now, folks, is are we in a trading range or is this market breaking to the downside? A little ambitious of me to sell hold on a second here. A little ambitious of me to sell that hawk signal this close to the bottom end of what is potentially going to be a sideways market. Of course, if this is a trading range, the buyers are going to dig in here and they're going to rally to the top end of the range. So you don't want to sell at the bottom. You actually want to buy. You want to buy at the bottom, sell at the top. But I took the macro pullback signal anyhow. And we're just hovering above the break-even trigger. And there we go. We've hit the break-even, so I'm going to force this trade to break even now. And keep my fingers crossed. And there we go. So we caught a little bit of a break there as the sellers stepped up. Yeah, Jim says, this is brutally slow. This ain't nothing yet. Wait till August. Although, surprisingly, last August was quite active. There was quite a bit going on. I have a feeling I should have taken my profit when I had it, though. This is interesting. Tony says his son is a quote-unquote electronic spy for the U.S. Army, and what he can pull from Twitter, Facebook, etc. is amazing. Yeah, I don't doubt that. I can't believe some of the stuff that people put online about their lives. I guess, I don't know, from my era anyhow, and I feel so old saying that. I'm not old. But we valued our privacy a little bit more. Now everything is just out there. It's like if you're not boasting about it or sharing it, I shouldn't say boasting. Boasting is maybe the wrong word, but sharing it. Okay, we're nursing this trade along here, getting a little bit of buying showing up. Hoping my stops are back far enough. No! Get away from there. Yeah, Tony says evidently there's a ton of info that is hidden, quote unquote. That's the thing I didn't like about Windows 10. And it does enable you to, it does allow you to disable the tracking features, but I just didn't like the way they phrased a lot of the stuff. It's like, let us make your internet browsing experience more pleasurable for you by tracking what websites you visit so we can recommend websites to you or recommend services to you that you may be interested in. Well, that's just blatant advertising. Why don't they say we want to track your internet experience so that we can tailor your marketing or our marketing to you or something like that. That would be honest. Oh, darn it. I almost thought we were going to ride out that swing. I realize the world is becoming a digital marketplace and it's more and more common to buy things online. I'm certainly not against that. But just say so. Don't pretend that you're doing it for me. To enhance my experience. But like I said, the good news is that you can turn a lot of those features off for now. The bad news, the thing that really bothers me about Windows 10 is that you cannot, and we're only talking about Windows 10 because there's nothing going on in the marketplace here. Don't feel like we're missing something. The thing that I really dislike about Windows 10 is not being able to turn off the update feature. What is wrong with that, you say? Well, if you're currently using Windows 7, you're probably getting an annoying pop-up every few days or few weeks saying, hey, upgrade to Windows 10. That's because somewhere in your downloads, your computer has downloaded that prompt. Adam actually used to do service work for computers and whatnot, and he told me early on, he says, if your computer works out of the box, there's no reason for it to update. So go ahead, turn off your updates. Now, I was not sure about that when I first did it, but I tell you, it has saved me a lot of headaches regarding software conflicts, because sometimes Windows will upgrade something on their operating system. They call it, patching a security breach or whatnot. Again, that's a colorful way of phrasing what may or may not be something you want on your computer. And again, I'm not a conspiracy nut, but this is just from experience. Sometimes it ends up mucking up your other programs, third-party programs. And therefore, I turned off my updates on Windows 7 and my computer has worked fine for, I guess I've had it for 5 years now, without a hiccup. But in Windows 10, I've had to resign myself to having the computer update itself all the time. Whenever I need to restart it, rather than just having the machine restart and a few minutes later I can use my machine again, I gotta wait 15 or 20 minutes for the thing to update and install the updates, and that really just rubs me the wrong way. Yeah, like Phil says, sadly too many businesses are not that honest anymore. I'm with you. Stop marketing me. I don't know if any of you remember that movie Minority Report with Tom Cruise, and there's a scene where he's running through a mall or an airport or whatever it was, and all these personalized hologramic billboards were popping up calling his name and saying, hey, whatever his character's name was, use your American Express. Hey, come shop here. Do this, do that. Sadly, that's not too far from the future. And you know what? I'm not against personalized marketing. I'm certainly not against it. I saw a very interesting documentary on supermarkets the other day, and I'm considering this first micro-macro cross, but not really. I'll show it to you because I always say first micro-macro cross, high probability signal, works 80% of the time. Let's see if it flips back here a little bit and allows me to enter. And I'll simulate it for you. There, oops, I thought I could get it in there. Just keeps sneaking away on me. All right, well, here it is. I would almost consider this counter trend because the market has been in a sideways drift. You see how we've broken out of what we consider to be our trading range back here. It's much bigger than that, but you get the idea. And now the market has broken out, come back. It's retesting the bottom end of this trading range, but we're producing a buy signal. Therefore, I would go with the scalp on target because I'm actually expecting the market to reject going higher and come back and start heading lower. That's the other reason I had to run my stops way down here below the low rather than below this little itty-bitty swing low. If this fails, there is a chance the buyers will recover and push the market higher, but I think you're going to need a whole lot more wiggle room. So this documentary I was watching about supermarkets said that with your club card or whatever it is that you have with that particular supermarket, they know what your purchases are. So let's say you liked Captain Crunch cereal, and you're going down the cereal aisle, and you happen to have your iPhone with you or your cell phone, whatever it is, and you have it turned on to the supermarket app, and it would offer you perhaps a coupon on Captain Crunch cereal. Buy 2 when you get $1 off or whatever. That kind of marketing is beneficial because it's saving me money. But the marketing that's geared toward, trying to sell me a BMW because I like the letter B or whatever, that's stupid marketing. I don't want any part of that. That's not efficient marketing. All right, so if you are in this first micro macro cross, you can see we're taking a little bit of heat on the trade. We're going to be looking for another chance for the buyers to step in here and for us to roll up our stops a little bit. I know it's hard not to get anxious on a trade like that, but such is trading. Sometimes you just got to sweat the trade. And again, the all-important reason why you don't want to crowd your trades or why you don't want to risk more than you can afford to lose. That's the whole deal with the trade manager. Come on, sellers. Well, come on, buyers. If we're long on that first micro macro cross, I would just like to see a little something resembling a trend. Watching the Raptor here for a possible hard edge bounce. We could get a signal coming out of there. Could get a green bar sell signal here off the Eagle. I think the market owes us a little bit more of a retest here of the low before giving us a full-on reversal. That's my thought process anyway, for what it's worth. Okay, we're getting close to decision time for the market. We're getting another one of these bars where the market is spending a whole lot of time trying to go higher, trying to go lower. What's the volume like on this bar? It's over 1,000 contracts. That's pretty decent. All right, so if you are in this trade, you may consider rolling your stop. Maybe not right below this low, but maybe here to the crest in the macro line, just in case this turns into a macro pullback and or a 4-arrow consolidation. But you've seen the buyers try to recover the market. If they fail at this point, well, then they're very likely to go down here and try to retest this whole 43.50 area. It's up to you to see whether or not they want to if you want to try to ride out a possible swing, remember your stop loss is not a loss until it gets hit. All right, so there's the macro pullback signal now. This one I might entertain. Oops, I don't want to go in with two though. Just want to take a single on this one. And we're into yellow bars, so now I don't even need to worry about it. Great big green bar sell here on the Eagle. This one's a little problematic because we're against the ATR. Can I convert up there? Yes, I can. We're against the ATR. That's a squiggly red and blue line here. I'm going to look at taking an earlier entry, but only because I'm looking at support down here possibly messing things up. Not what I would call one of the better looking trades. Oh yeah, and we're in full on scalp mode here for another half hour. Gee, I would have never guessed. And now we're pushing back away from the signal. Well, I'll leave that bar in play. It is still in play. It's going to be a good second push entry. If in fact the market does end up moving lower. Jim says the advance decline. We got 15.45 on the buy, 12.45 on the sell. So buyers may be getting a little bit stronger. We know there's a lot of sensitivity here at 43.50, right? That's where they stepped in before. I'll roll my break even in a little bit in case it gets to the lows. All right, just in time here for the Raptor, we get a hard edge sell. And here too, it's problematic because we need to keep our stops. Well, that's going to be a little bit too cozy for our stops. We'll start with that, but I'm going to roll my stop in above here. Ideally, even above the high of the day, but I've got two contracts in place, so I don't want to leave myself too much in the market. All right, let's see if the seller's got what it takes. They're pressing. Come on, let's go. Okay, we're going to hit the break even, so I'll enable that. And I think we hit our break even on the Eagle also, so let me enable that. Oh, it is enabled. So we're just hovering above the break-even trigger here. Of course, I can always force it to break even as well. Come on. Don't be like that. Come on. Come on down. Here, I'll pull you down a little bit. That'll help. There we go. Come on. 43. Oh, 43.50 quarter. Oh, darn it. They just keep tagging 50 quarter, 50 quarter. Stinkers. Well, we'll force the trade to break even here. There we go. 43.50. And now let's see whether or not they can take out this little swing low. There's going to be some buyers exit orders right down here, right? The buyers that bought here, they bought here, they bought here. If the market trades down through this 43, 48 area, we're going to start engaging all these exit orders, which are sell orders, and that should move the market a little bit lower as well. Oh, come on. Not liking it if this holds here. That's going to be very much like a double bottom type scenario. Huh. Jim says the YM, the mini Dow, is trading in a 40-point channel box. See here, this is now our retest of the low. If we fail to take out this low, we are very likely going to see a rally here. Come on, sellers. $43, 48, 3/4 is the low of the day. Get away from there. Well, at least we hit our profit objective, so it's been a little tough slogging. I have a feeling I probably should have taken my profit when I had it here. Oh well. When we got back down here to the lows. So break-even trade on the Eagle and a small profit on the Raptor. So we're kind of clawing away for all our profit here today. Okay, here we're getting a green bar sell, and we're getting a soft edge buy. So we could buy this, and we'll throw our stops in below the lows. And here we're getting a green bar sell signal. Hasn't completed yet, but we've got the warning dot, the green bar. If we print the sell signal, because we have this double bottom type test of the extreme, there we go. I'm going to set up to buy it on the failure, which you remember is an option to do with the green bar sell signal. Getting most of our trades today on the Hawk and the Raptor. They tend to be a little bit more sensitive to sideways markets. And look at the width of this bar right here. That's crazy. A lot of volume on that bar. Oh, well, maybe not. 23, just shy of 2,300 contracts traded. I guess that's a lot for today. So we've had a great big retest here of the low. Come back with a soft edge buy. Our hard edge tends to be our profit objective, but because we're already trading here at the hard edge, I'm thinking we're going to see the market drift a little bit higher, perhaps get back here to the 43.60 area, perhaps even to the high of the day, somewhere around 43.70. That would be a nice little move if we can get it. But at the moment, things definitely looking a little bit range bound. I think I heard my other order get filled. Yes, it did. Good. I've got my stop and play. And even here on the Eagle, if you wanted to be a little bit more aggressive, we technically have a rule of 3 type scenario. It's actually only 2 signals against the hard edge, but we have had a good retest of the low. Remember, with the counter trend signals, you need to have a trend before you can have a counter trend. I would not classify this really as a trend, so I would not be too anxious on that signal here on the Eagle, even though I do think we are going to see a little bit of a rally here. I think. Getting back here now to the seller's territory where they pushed the market down before. We sold the signal, now we're looking to buy. Come on, get up there. Oh my gosh, we need like a really, really strong coffee. Give the market a kick in the pants here. I have a feeling it's partly the holiday. Okay, we're seeing a little bit of a push now. The hawk now at break even. The raptor just hovering below the break even trigger. There we go. And come on, hooray! So we managed to scalp out on that hawk signal. And let's see if we can't get our profit objective here on the raptor. Hooray for us! So we hit our break-even trigger and our profit objective. And now we're going to, hopefully, where's my next support and resistance line? Way up there at 43.80. I think I'd be content with the high of the morning. As we get to the 43.70 area, I think I'm going to get more aggressive with my stops. Enter parabolics. All right, come on, let's go. Don't stop now. Here the Geiger counter was pulled hard over to the buy side, which is good, but we did see the sellers respond in kind. If we are in a sideways day, which is what it appears to be, we can expect sellers to start selling down here, buyers to start buying down here, and that puts this area right in no man's land. Could go either way from there. Oh, and there they go. Gave us a little bit of a hiccup, enough to stop us out, but you know what? I think we've been doing all right in the Raptor with our little hit and run type trades. Would have got a little bit more here on the Hawk as well if I had taken some earlier profit that I let drift away, and we lost that at least $100 in open profit on the Eagle when I was trying to run that one out. But you know what? For a sideways day, we're definitely holding our own. And that would probably be my day right there. I know we're getting another first micro macro cross signal, but on a day like today, if you can pull $600 or $700 out of the market, then that's probably enough. we were trading two contracts here on the Eagle, or pardon me, the Raptor, but we were trading singles everywhere else, so that's pretty decent. It doesn't want to get very far from this 4360 line. You may want to make a note of that. 4360, 4350. Likely to be some significant numbers in the next few days. I'll follow this first micro macro cross. I'm not going to take it. Yes, it's a high probability signal. Yes, it should work out. Geez, you probably want to cover the trade all the way down there, or at least to the crest here in the macro line. And we're working a trend change signal here on the Falcon as well. Again, I'm not going to take it, but you probably would set it up something like this. And 43, oops, don't have my profit target set. There we go. Oh, see, I shouldn't have been such a chicken. I can see a retest of this morning's high, a very real possibility. Oh, and here in the Raptor, we also got a cloud crossover signal. So the tools pretty much across the board suggesting the market continuing to be bullish. So the hawk trade worked out off that first micro macro cross. It hit its profit target. The Eagle producing a trend change signal. So the band has turned over. This is our first signal where everything is in sync. Advisable to take the second push entry on days like today. Let the signal engage, especially on the Eagle. You'll see the signal engage and then the market try to move back against the Eagle. It just seemed like some rather reluctant buying going on as the market tried to get higher. The advanced decline actually getting a little bit more bullish now. 1,600 on the buy, 1,200 on the sell. We'll follow this Falcon trade through. So now that the market's given us another little bullish bar here, I would take my stop from down here and I would roll it below this bar right here. That effectively reduces your risk by half. Come on, get going. There you go. Now our break-even trigger is probably near the high of this bar. So if this bar finishes bullish, we probably hit our break-even stop. If you don't have a break-even trigger going and this bar finishes bullish, there we go. I would now take my stop from down here, and if not, move it to break-even, move it below the tail on this bar, which would leave you with about $50 in risk. Come on, keep pushing. Oh, you stinkers. And now I would take my trade to break even. We're only one tick away. So I would take the trade to break even, or you could grab the $80 or $90 in open profit if you don't think the market's going to find the high of the morning, which is just above us here. Our target 43.69.5, and the high of the morning I think 43.70 or 71. Oh my gosh, I can't believe they're going to leave us hanging there. All right, I'm going to have to give it a push with the mouse. Don't like to do this all the time, manipulating the markets as I do, but sometimes we just have to. Come on, get up there. If you are going to trade tomorrow, you should be very careful. It is the day before a holiday weekend. The markets are likely to be a little bit thinner than normal. Today already it seems like the markets are a little bit thinner. Even some of these heavy bars. Oh, that one's not bad. But this is the Falcon. That heavy bar there had 3,000 contracts traded. If you wanted to protect a little profit, you could take your trade from break even now and put it below the low of this tail right here. If this bar reverses at this point, then there's a very good chance it's going to come down here to break even anyhow. So you may as well take the $30 or $40 that are available to you. A little bit of beer money. Come on. Come on. All right. There we go. There we go. Oh, whew, that was hard work. All right. So actually, a couple really good signals that I passed on. Had a great signal here in the Raptor, the Falcon, and the Hawk, all of which had good follow through. And now the market retesting the highs of the morning. I think we're going to close up the room here shortly. Just a reminder, no trading room tomorrow. Next trading room will be Tuesday, July the 5th. If you are trading this afternoon or the rest of this morning, it looks like the buyers have taken control of the market. We'll see how big of a reaction they get off of the high of the morning, which is where we're at right now. But I would not get overly bearish. Any retracement here, I think, would make for a pretty good buying opportunity. All right, you guys and girls, have yourselves a wonderful holiday weekend. I will talk to you on Tuesday. Bye for now.